Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. A little over a month ago I completed my service in the Norwegian Army as a combat photographer for the Arctic Ranger Battalion. This means that now I am once again a civilian, so in the past few weeks and in the months to come I'm now going to spend 100% of my time pursuing wildlife photography. So during these past few weeks I've had a handful of different local projects working with different species around my area. So in this video I'm taking you along behind the scenes and showing you some of these local projects I've been working on. One of my main projects this winter has been working with this very river right behind me here and documenting its biodiversity. Because despite temperatures dropping way below 20- degrees, this river has remained open, at least partially. What I've found really interesting to witness is how this relatively small body of water has attracted such a vast array of different wildlife species and how it's acted like a blood vessel running through nature and giving life to the surrounding valley. And that is what I've tried to document with both images and videos. So I've spent some fantastic sessions at this beautiful location.
The main reason I kept returning to this location is that it houses a substantial amount of overwintering whooper swans. The whooper swan is one of my favourite species to photograph, and there are in fact only 500 breeding pairs in all of Norway. So to get the chance to photograph these elegant birds in beautiful wintry scenery made it worth returning to this location over and over again. My very favourite photo shoot of the whooper swans was a particularly cold morning when temperatures dropped as low as 27 below freezing. All surrounding vegetation was covered in frost, and from the water that amazingly had remained liquid, steam was rising through the air. When it gets as cold as this, frost accumulates on the swan's plumage overnight. To get rid of the frost, they spend a lot of time bathing and preening, which makes for some very nice footage and images. Backlit by the morning sun, all the elements work together to create a golden winter wonderland. And with the elegant whooper swans as the main subject, it was a truly magical morning of wildlife photography. The whooper swans are not the only species that can be found here, and the river houses a great variety of different water-dependent wildlife. Several different species of ducks make use of the little open water that's left, in the company of Norway's national bird, the white-throated dipper. I could also see signs of both beavers and otters, so there's no doubt that this is a hotspot for birds and mammals braving the cold Norwegian winter. I find it highly entertaining to watch as the dipper forages for food. With its small body and lack of webbed feet, it seems so out of place for an aquatic bird. But once you see it swimming about, there's no doubt that it's in its right habitat. As I mentioned earlier, I'd been seeing otter tracks along the riverbank. In my whole life, I've only had a handful brief encounters with otters and have never had the slightest chance to get a photo of one. So to say I got very excited would be a dramatic understatement when I one afternoon spotted 2 otters fishing in the river. With fresh snow on the ground, a nice and soft overcast light, the stage was set. All I had to do was to keep a low profile, be patient, and enjoy the moment.
It's just so incredibly entertaining to watch them, because as much as they are streamlined, elegant, skillful predators, they're also so incredibly funny looking, clumsy and cute. It looks like half of what they're doing, they're just doing it for the fun of it. They're playing, they're taking care of each other, and they're just simply having fun, it seems. Such a cool species to watch.
I soon realised that the pair was a mother and her pup. Upon closer inspection, I noticed that the mother was missing both her eyes. Incredibly, however, she had no problem finding food and was a remarkably skillful hunter, resurfacing with fish after almost every single dive. Researching a bit when I got home, I found out that the blind otter has been around in this river for several years and managed not only to survive, but to thrive and to raise young. I must say, her resilience and adaptability, despite the odds stacked against her, is truly something to admire. Although documenting the biodiversity of the river was my main local project this winter, I've also spent some time photographing some smaller birds that brave the cold close to Oslo. A few sessions at a local reed bed resulted in some nice moments with the rare species bearded reedling. If you would like to see me photograph them more thoroughly, please check out this video from last year, linked on screen. Plants that keep their fruits into the winter months provide a lifeline for the birds and animals that stay the winter in Norway. An apple tree in a student town attracted a flock of 30 bohemian waxwings, a gorgeous passerine that typically breeds well over 1,000 kilometers northeast. As they feasted on the apples, I had the pleasure of testing out my new snow camouflage poncho that the guys at Attribution were kind enough to send me, offering me fantastic close views into these beautiful birds' lives. Waxwings were not the only long-distance travellers I photographed this winter. Among mallards, goldeneyes, coots and mute swans, a drake smew had found refuge in the open water by the outlet of a stream in Oslo. Just like the waxwings, he was also about 1,000 miles from his typical breeding grounds. The smew is an annual guest in Oslo, but most individuals are females, so this being a drake in beautiful plumage made him an exotic attraction for local birders and photographers, myself included. Smews are very shy and difficult to work with, but this individual seemed to be somewhat of an exception. Every hour or so he would swim towards land, dive, and resurface only 10 meters away before swimming back to the far end of the pond. By lying completely still and with a little patience, I was granted some fantastic close-up views of this stunning duck. Although winter's long gone in most of Norway, I still have some very exciting winter projects coming up very soon. But in contrast to my local projects, they're not so close to home. If you want to see more winter photography in the close future, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my next adventures. Until then, goodbye for now.